The views and opinions expressed in the Triple C Movement podcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Hey, Triple C Movement here to let you know. Talking community, culture, and capital. Black entrepreneurs, black business. Aim to advance the culture, so don't miss it. Yeah, giving you just what you need. Hosted by TC, KC, and Reem, and Erica. Elevate, level up, true indeed. Where culture, community, and capital meet. Let's go. Hey, yeah, Triple C Movement. Whoop, whoop.
You are now listening to the Triple C Movement.
Peace, fam. Welcome to another episode of the Triple C Movement, where we focus on the 3 C's by offering our opinions on advanced Black culture, discussing topics that are important to the Black community, and promoting entrepreneurship to help build back capital. I go by T, and the place to be. Peace and love, family.
It's your boy KC. Holla at me.
The boy Reem here. I love y'all. Let's go.
Peace, y'all. This is Susie. You know what it is.
And on behalf of the crew, I'd like to ask that you share, like, subscribe, and comment. Follow us on Instagram at the Triple C Movement. Today, we will be discussing traditions, Black traditions in the Black community. Things that we do that we might be unaware that we're doing. Things that we gotten used to doing, we might not want to do anymore. So I'm going to leave it up to E. Go ahead and set it off, E.
Thanks, yo. I appreciate it, T. So, I was just walking through, I took a trip recently and went to the A, Shouty. And while I was down there, I was just looking around and I was like, what is it that sets communities apart, right? What are certain habits and or traditions that we do as the Black community that are either helping advance us or these are things that hinder us, right? And so I'm gonna start it off with just a few questions for y'all, just to get the conversation going. So off the bat, let's start with KC. What's one tradition or we'll say tradition, but like one thing that you think the Black community does that is helping us grow, or a tradition that we do that you think needs to be revisited? Let me say it that way.
A tradition I think that kind of needs to be revisited is the hustle culture. The things like hustle hard, get rich or die trying. I think it's almost to our detriment. People are working themselves into the grave, or doing things, getting 2-3 jobs, trying to make it, not getting time for rest and rejuvenation. So I think that's one thing that just comes off the top of my head. I think everybody could use a good nap. I know I could.
I stayed needing a nap. Stop playing. All right, T. Would you expound on that, or is there something else you think? Because I know we talked about the hustle culture before in one of our earlier podcasts or episodes, and so do you agree with that? Is that something that you think we could improve upon?
Agree. I don't know how we would improve upon the hustle culture.
Just capitalism, keep you in the rabbit.
Yeah, that's what we are as a society, and I don't know if it gets any better than it is right now. Is it a detriment? Maybe. If we're dying trying to get rich and we're not getting rich, then I guess it's a detriment.
One out of
yeah, no, not even one out of, it's like out of a billion, so everybody can't be 50 Cent, and by any means thing too is tough too, because some people willing to do whatever it takes in our culture to get to that point, and they don't care who toes they step on or who they hurt in the process. They ain't gonna go for it, So that's part of our culture. That's a tradition. I don't know if it's a tradition, but it is part of our culture that I guess was built out of necessity because of being, marginalized people and, underrepresented, in this society, that we had no choice but to develop that frame of mind, that mindset. So, is it a detriment or is it a gift? Depends.
Mm,
It
mhm.
depends on who you are and where you are, and how you were brought up, and a lot of factors go into that. Mm. But I believe that that's definitely part of who we are, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Lee?
I think it's a tradition. The problem is we never had this tradition. We never want to uplift each other. It's mine. It's mine. It's you. I'm better than you. It's this that. It's not like other cultures or other ethnicities where they actually doing you know what I mean. They doing things. Let's not talk about people that come in the country. They actually trying to wither. We don't. We have this. It's been from it seemed like from day one. As far as I've been noticing in my age, that's what it's been like. It's like what's mine, I keep in mind. Not about helping. We don't help as much as we should. And when we do help, it's probably for a cause. It's not just because we trying to uplift each other. I help you, you help me. We all go through. You know what I mean? We doing it together. You know what I mean? And I think we're doing it. I think it got to start somewhere, right? I think as us as a group, I think we're starting to do it. I know other groups are doing it too, but it has to come as a whole. I love you. It has to, and I think we got to start with the youth. But it's hard to start with the youth when they see videos and Instagram and social media of everything looking glamorous, everything looking like everything looks sweet and the cream. Because when you look at social media, you start feeling like, damn, what we damn, what we doing wrong over here? But then you ain't realize they just social media. Anybody can look good on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we got. I think as a community, we got to stop lying to each other, lying about what we got going on, and keep
Mm,
it real and trying to help each other. You know what I mean? In a major way, because I'm tired of having these events we go to. Some of the events we have, like for instance, our West Indian Labor Day Parade, shots being fired, people getting killed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to grow on that part.
yeah. I would even add and say like even the Black American events, right? Like things, not to say it's a Black American event, but like things like Freaknik. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
there's
Those
always
are good traditions. Those are things we do.
those are good traditions.
We don't even
You
got
know
it
how
no
you
more.
heard
You
that.
know what I mean?
But,
Those are
I
good
mean, I
things.
agree. Yeah. I mean, I think your point is right. I mean, minus the name, but it was an opportunity for us to come together, right, and potentially do something good. But rather than using that forum for advancing and or educating, we take it just for, we party hard and we work hard, right? So this is our party hard moment rather than using it to uplift the community. And so I'm wondering, because I've seen that perpetuated time and time, year after year, generation after generation, and we'll never dig out of being marginalized if we continue to just live for the now and rather than build and plan for the future. So yeah, I don't know. I was feeling this kind of, I was frustrated because I was driving around and I was seeing communities that consistently have been disenfranchised, continue to be disenfranchised. And I know people receive, there may be opportunities, but we are in this moment of living for the now, I feel. And you got to enjoy it now before it's gone rather than sacrificing a little bit. And I feel like that's hindering us as a community. And I agree with y'all. I think I'm just going to start talking because I'm just on this podium and soapbox today, and I apologize, but whatever. But we see, the Instagrams or whatever social media and or these kind of celebrities living for whatever, but people don't see the efforts and the struggles and the investments that they do. They think that all I have to do is, sing a song, dance, play a sport, do whatever, or hack do one code, and I'm going to automatically be a millionaire. And it's like, no, this is a continuous effort. And so, I don't know. I feel like delayed gratification is a problem. That's not something that I've seen traditionally done in the Black community. Is we don't know how to delay the gratification for a later time. And I may be misspeaking and misrepresenting, and that I hate to make broad generalizations like that, but if I look across the board, I would say that the majority. Because like, how many
I agree.
people saved for college?
People what?
How many people saved money for like college? Like that was something, we were talking about at work today even. I was like, if I had children, which I don't, but if I had children, I would teach them there's no such thing as gifts. You have a 529. That is your gift. You know what I mean? And like the moment you're born, because if you start giving gifts, there's this expectation that I'm supposed to get something every time something happens, right?
Yeah. Right.
And then they play with the gift for 2 weeks, and then it's in the trash, hundreds of dollars, and repeat the cycle over and over again. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I just want to say this one thing. I'm gonna get off track a little bit. After this, when we look at this episode, you're gonna have problems, Erica. You just told people you ain't have no kids. They're gonna be checked. The people gonna be running down this episode.
No children. I'm too daggum old now to have children. So.
They're gonna be running it down. We're gonna have all kind of people listen to this joint. You know what I mean? Watch.
I got no kids.
Nah, but seriously, on a serious note, no, I agree with you 100%. 100%.
So how do we break it though?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Reem.
Go ahead. I like your question. What you gonna say?
No, I was gonna ask, how do we break these traditions or bad habits, if you will?
We gotta start from small. We gotta start setting examples, I guess. And that's the only way I can see it. Like I said, you gotta start with the youth. The youth gotta see us bonding. They gotta see more of the family function. They gotta see more of that. We need to start doing that for our youth, our kids, to see the love that we have for one another. You know what I mean?
Complete family, right?
Right.
Yeah, the village. I think the grandmother, the grandfather, the whole village,
Right.
pretty much. Yeah.
So now is everything is just based on what I'm doing. I'm doing me. I'm doing you. Doing you. You doing all that. We need to come together as one. And I think once the youth, because I think at now we're at the age we are. We're a little, we out there. I think the youth got to see it, and that's how I think. That's the only way I see we breaking it. Everything starts with the youth, with kids.
Do you feel like because a lot of the traditions or things that when I was growing up, I was like, once you're 18, you out this house. I don't care what you're doing, you're out this house, right? You're either joining the military, you're going to school, or something, but you out this house. Do you feel like we need to stop pushing our children and our youth away and creating an environment for them?
I'll be honest with you. In our household, that's not how it those kids. They ain't no out the house early with us. It happens to be, but it's never been a force to leave the house. It's you go out the house, you always welcome in the house. So it's never. I'm not used to that. I left the house because of certain things I'd done in my age. But I know for a fact if I wanted to go back home to my mother right now, it would be no problem. It would never. You got to leave this house. So I couldn't answer that question. Because never in our culture, in my culture, it was never that for me. But I've seen people like, yo, once you're 18, you gotta leave, you gotta go. I seen that, and I think that right there has to stop. I really do. I think that has to stop. Yeah, I think that's almost pushing, because they're not ready. At 18, you really not. You ain't ready.
You're not ready at 23, truth be told. Like,
you ain't ready. So, what you think? What you
It's kind of like you putting the expiration date on your kids. Like, time's up. I'm not sparing anymore. Bye.
Right. Yeah.
And they're never gonna stop being your kids. So you can't just say, all right, you gotta go now. Get out.
Right.
But at the same
So
time,
maybe we need. Mhm.
go ahead.
No, go
Maybe
ahead. I'm
we need
sorry,
to.
bro. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, but at the same time, it has to be, in a respectful situation. You can't be out doing whatever you want to do, and you know what I mean. So maybe why a lot of parents have that attitude. I don't know, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it depends on the child,
it
really.
depends on the child exactly. Yeah,
Because if you're gonna be in the house eating popcorn and I'm slaving all day, that ain't.
yeah. You smoking with your feet
Yeah,
up, and
exactly.
chilling, and So, go ahead, Rick.
Well, that right there is that right there. It's the difference between forcing them out and they're being disrespectful. That's what it is. And most of the time they become disrespectful, and they feel like they obligated to do what they want to do. You know, I mean, when you
Right.
talk to those kids, yeah, your ass gotta go. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
Immediately.
mean?
Before 18. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
those kids right there,
Yeah,
always
I
in
think
trouble,
that's
always
I
this.
think I think that's normally the circumstances what that happen when people say that, because
Right.
they know they can't kick them out before they turn 18. So as soon as you're 18, you're getting the hell out of here. I think that's where that comes
Yeah,
from
right,
more
right.
than just your kid turns 18 and now she got to get out of here. If you're a good kid and you're doing the right things and you're doing good in school and you're contributing to the household and stuff like that, I don't think any parent is gonna say, you got to go
Yeah.
when you hit 18. You
Right,
know?
right.
I think that,
But
and
yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
in our culture that unfortunately most of our kids are grown, want to act grown before they turn 18, and so that's why most parents say you got to get the fuck out when you're 18. Because of the culture and because of the music and because of just the culture. That's our culture. Kids want to be grown before they time. I did it. My kids did it. Kids. That's what kids in our culture do, unfortunately. So that's why most parents probably say, when you hit 18, you gotta get the fuck out.
I don't know what y'all talking about. I was good as shit. I was
You
an
was good at two
angel.
shoes.
I was a goody two shoes. Had a whole halo and everything. Casey, shut up. You know.
He know the real deal.
Yeah, you know the real
He gonna tell us later. He gonna tell us later.
He don't know shit.
No fake news.
What about other
Yeah,
traditions?
no, I
though?
mean,
Any other traditions that we have as a culture? Because I'm having a hard time coming up with some. As a culture,
I know.
mean, not as like like our family, like we the three of us have the same family, so yeah, we have our traditions. But as a culture, Black people are. I mean, other than
Partying.
hustling and like in the party and like hit the club and like in the party and do that stuff. What other traditions do we have?
Going to church.
I wouldn't necessarily.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a big one.
What do you
Yeah,
say?
going to church. Is that a hindrance, or is that something that you think is advancing?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But because I have seen some young people at this one particular church somebody I know go to, and he's doing a good job. They having visits. They going to Miami and visit all kind of stuff. So he make the whole church, the whole church, and they're all young. Like they're all under 30 years old. That's one particular church, one particular pastor I'm talking about. But as a whole, I don't know. We lost that phase of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the only tradition I could think of. We were trying to figure out what tradition. I thought going to church could be one. I think if we get back to that, maybe that could be something we could start and based on.
Yeah, they've said that there's been a great migration away from the Black church, and this is something I don't know. You don't know if it's a correlation or a causal factor, right? But we're just seeing a lot of things happening within the Black culture with, at least increased recordings of violence. I'm not saying it wasn't there before, but now we have the visual captures of it. We have other things which may increase within the Black community that are now being, recorded. But it's also you're seeing a splintering away too from the Black church. So that's a good point. What about you, T? Because you got quiet.
The the black church could be a detriment, definitely.
Okay.
It can be a
How so?
detriment because
You know you got to expound upon that one. You can't just
Yeah.
leave it right there. You good?
I feel like we're African people, you know, and we had our own deities and we had our own, you know, gods and we had our own. So I think the black church is, I guess, a form of conforming to or yeah, I guess assimilating to the slave masters' religion in a way as a culture. So that could be a detriment. You know, it takes us farther away from our roots, from our ancestry, our ancestors. You know, I'm not saying the belief. I believe you can believe in Jesus, or you could believe in whatever God you believe in, but still not be a part of a church. You know, you
Mhm.
could, you could still be a beliefs and still, you know, appreciate your African roots and your African heritage. But I don't know. That's my opinion. I feel like it might have cut us off from our roots in a way. You know,
Yeah. Casey,
that.
what about you?
I think the church is a positive force. I don't think it's for the most part, I don't think it's a hindrance. I think it kind of grounds you, kind of gives you like a roadmap for life. You know, seeing other experiences and give you a kind of sense of a conscious aspect. So I think for the most part, I think it's a positive thing. I'm not sure why the youth are not going as much as they used to. I'm not sure what that's about. But
It's
I would like
us.
to see it increase.
But we're
Huh?
not going. The youth is looking after us now. We're the ones now. We're not going. We're not taking them.
You say we. Oh,
Ye,
what?
Like the parents in
the
our
parents.
generation. Yeah. And when we say
We're
black
not taking
church, let's just be clear. Religion and black church and whatever your beliefs are can be two separate. They're two separate things, right?
Right,
separate
right,
things.
So whatever you believe in and your religion can be the black church in this case, in this example, because we don't want to necessarily ostracize our Muslim brothers and sisters, those who believe in Judaism, that are black Jews, Christianity, any other
But
religions.
it's still a form of a church, no matter how you put it.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like the church, but so we don't necessarily mean I'm a Christian, but I know that others recognize different religions. So, but I agree with you. I think it provides structure and it's values that are tied into those things. And if they're not getting values, kind of structured values from the family in addition to external and seeing by other examples, it's easy to go a little wayward, right? And just have the world become your values.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the problem lies.
100% agree.
So yeah, I think that's just the root of it. I think that we can start off with that. I think if we're gonna start a tradition, we gotta start from there. You know what I mean? And then take it from wherever else it goes, wherever we go with it. But that's one tradition I can think of. Family functions is a tradition that I'm not sure if it's dying down. Family function, but you know, always having a family with it. What do you call it? Family reunion. You know what I mean? Having more of those. You know, and seriously, I mean, like really, like everybody we get here. You know what I mean? Most of the family should be there. And bond from there and take it from there and positive, you know, and make it a positive event, you know what I mean? So things like that. So other than that, I don't know what else. Anybody else have any other ideas?
I had one on the tip of my tongue, and as soon as I was like, damn it, it's gone. This is perimenopause, y'all.
I tell you what, for us, carnival, we can have a carnival. Carnival, they got a carnival going in October just now in Miami. That used to be a good thing, you know. But no. Let me see honest. It's those are the traditions. The any tradition that's carnival is a
Those are the
tradition, right?
traditions. You're right. Yeah, those are the traditions. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but the only problem is youth. A lot of these youth, I don't think they even. I don't know if it was so much in when I was a youth, when I was younger, I should say. But it seemed like it's more of a social event, and let me see your ops kind of thing. That you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Then let's going out there and enjoying each other, enjoying our carnival and our festivals and and, and anything else. Million Man March. Um, you know, what they have, what they have, freak like we talk about Freaknik, stuff like that. I think those are the things need to come back as a whole and be positive about it. It can't be violence at the end of the day. That's it's to defeat the purpose. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
What about you think having it like on a continuous once every quarter there's a black festival, right? Just come out, celebrate black culture. And not necessarily freak Nick, because again, we know what that connotation and everything that was kind of behind that.
I
But
guess the name behind it sound kind of bad, right? The freak.
yeah.
Well, they recently had a African American Day Parade in Harlem, and I think they have that every year. So
Okay.
something like that, showcasing marching bands from different schools and things like that. So I definitely think that would bring us together. It's always good to see people and bond with your people, but
hmm
unfortunately, some people don't know how to act. So that's
But maybe that's the other thing too. Like it's time for us to start checking behavior that's not okay. You know what I mean? And there being a united force, so to speak. Where I mean, I'm hearkening back to a time that I wasn't even born. But, the Panthers would kind of self-police our own communities. We didn't necessarily have to worry about external forces coming in. Same with the nation, from my understanding. Again, from my limited reading, but from what I understand, like they have the nation and the fruit to be the security to make sure that everybody stayed safe and things were in check. So why can't we necessarily do that?
what happened to the fruit of Islam. They haven't seen
I
them.
did.
What happens to all black organizations in America?
Infiltrate and destroy,
Okay.
basically.
Yep.
Yeah,
Divide and conquer.
exactly.
hmm
Exactly
So,
what it is.
hmm so another tradition and or practice, let's use that one, that I've seen that I think has been a detriment personally is we don't go to therapy and we don't talk about our problems and emotions. Like you just got to tough it out, right? I've seen it things may be changing now, but I still think for the most part for the Black community, you don't see as many people going to therapy and or talking about their challenges. I might be
Man up.
biased.
That's the man up culture. The man up tradition.
But like, why?
Uh, society,
It's machismo.
society. What's outside force you to be that way? The way it is outside ain't easy. Outside's tough. Outside is, especially for a black person. Especially for a black man. You know, we- when we go outside, we still just a black man. It's tough. When we go outside, we are just a black man. And when we
But wouldn't
inside,
that be all the more reason to, and again, I'm being devil's advocate. I definitely agree and I understand the underlying reasons why. But like, wouldn't that be all the more reason to be like, I have to have a moment where I can just be vulnerable and let down the walls and or the facade where I have to be super strong and the machismo always.
society won't give us a chance to do it. Only in the household. Only your best friend, your spouse, your kids, your family, your mother. But
And
the
even
white
then
man,
sometimes. Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just tough. Yeah. I think when you let it down, it's a very sign of a weakness, and I think that's what people see, and not realizing. Some of us forget we all dealing with the same struggles. Everybody got their everything. Everybody got their own issues. You know what I mean? No matter what kind of money you have, you know what I mean. Like you could be rich and still going through it. You know what I mean? So when people say money don't buy you happiness, it's a fact. But it damn sure better than being broke. But
It makes it nice, though. It
you
helps
know what
with
I mean?
retail therapy, I can tell
You
you.
know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? I mess around. I have a lot of friends doing that, huh? Yeah.
Which
But no,
circles back to the hustle culture. Which circle?
It's just a loop. It's a loop.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. But listen. As a black culture, like I think the first thing we gotta do, I always feel like we need to start, like, I'm gonna go back to day one, really with the truth. We need to stop envying each other. That's I know it's human nature, but that's our problem. We can't see nobody, you can't see somebody doing good. And the problem is, if somebody's doing good, it's almost like you envy them, or you mad at them, or you don't want, you know what I mean? You don't want to see them doing any of that, and that's a bad thing.
Crabs in a barrel.
That's a bad. We gotta stop that. We gotta want to uplift each other. Because if I'm doing good, everybody on this page doing good, right? And that's how it should be. Now, you know what I mean? Especially if we have one love for one another. And a lot of times, if I'm doing good, all of a sudden we all hate each other. Next you know, it's a beef, and we beefing, and somebody nagging, and somebody, you know what I mean? It just don't make no sense. You know?
That's how it always starts. Yeah.
That's how it always starts. And that's why they say
That's the
money
tradition.
rules
That's the tradition we need to start. We need to start a tradition of celebrating each other's wins. Some kind
and
of
really mean it.
have some kind of ceremony
really mean it.
for black people who achieve some kind of a monthly ceremony, not like once a year NAACP awards or whatever the case may be, but like like they do in the stores. You have employee of the month. We need to have to give kids examples of, all right, every month, oh, this person is the black person of the month. You know what I'm saying? Look what he did. And, you know what I mean? And they see this, and like, it's a regular person. It's not Martin Luther King, or you know what I mean? It's like a regular person, but he accomplished this.
Right.
And this month, he is our person for this month. And this is the people that we need to look up to, so that people can see that you can celebrate each other without feeling envious and not feeling. And the person might help you to get to where you need to be. You know what I mean? So yeah. Maybe like a tradition of like monthly celebrations and acknowledging one another. We look out for people who are doing things, and we find a way to celebrate them. Be a tradition that we have.
And it can be things like, shout out to Brother Reem. He just went and fed 15 people on the street, made lunches and stuff like that, passed it out. Appreciate it. You kept, people fed for another day. Or shout out to Sister E, because, she's just amazing and deserves to be shout out, period. I don't know, something like that. But I mean, all jokes aside,
Just like that, yeah. Little things like that. Little things you don't have to be a millionaire.
They need to be celebrated.
You don't have to be.
You really
make $1 million. You don't have to be driving the fanciest car. You don't have to have a hit record. You just be a regular person, but you did something that deserves something notable that deserves to be put out there. So, and just like regularly though, not we do it once and then all right, that's it, we forget about it, and so people go back to doing it. It has to be like a reoccurring thing, So I think that would be a great tradition. We can
start a newsletter.
Yeah.
Celebrating our black wins, yo. For real.
There you go. Every state, every state, we're gonna find a person and we're gonna celebrate them every month.
And it's a way of also getting the word out there of what we are doing and how we can come together as a community to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely, I like
New
that.
ideas. Sorry, Casey, go ahead.
Nah. So I like that because it doesn't make it seem like for the youth it's not all bad out there. You know what I mean? There's some good in the world still.
Some good. There's some good. All right. If anybody else got anything else, are we good with this one? You think? What y'all think?
I think so. We can keep this one short too. I mean, again, I think it's about changing what our traditions can be, right? We give power and energy to things that, or give life and power to those things that we give energy to, right? So perhaps we need to reshift our focus away from, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna be this and this and that, and the I concept to the we, and celebrate the we and uplift the community that way.
Yes.
We definitely need to get back to that.
You know, I
I got a
and we.
question for
That's it right
everybody.
there. Yeah.
No doubt. I got a question for everybody in here, too. Dead or alive, who would somebody that you would like to meet?
I'd like to meet.
I'd like to meet Haile Selassie.
That's big.
You know, I just had this conversation with, I got a tattoo recently, and I just asked my tattoo artist this exact same question. That's why I'm kind of laughing. I'd like to meet El Haj Malik. I would say Malcolm X, but I want the post, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, Mecca. So
You want the enlightened Malcolm.
enlighten Malcolm.
Yeah.
Mm.
AC?
What about you?
Yeah, for me, yeah, I was thinking what you were saying, but also Bob Marley. I mean, just his lyrics, I was like, how he put that with that, and it's just amazing. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
It was the ganja,
Some of the
though.
stuff
It
is
was
still
the
relevant
ganja.
today.
It was the ganja.
I mean, well, hey, but it was up in there already. But it was the way he put it together was amazing, man. You know what I mean?
What about you,
Still
Reem? Who
rings
you wanna
bells
meet?
today. That's
Yeah, besides Michael Jackson, you know what I mean? I got to put Michael Jackson was the man. I don't care what nobody say. But Nelson
Which
Mandela.
Michael Jackson we talking about, though?
What do
Right.
you mean?
Jackson
Which
5 Michael Jackson or
Jackson
White
5
Michael
or
Thriller
the
Michael Jackson. Thriller.
Thriller? Okay. All right.
yeah, that's still Black Michael Jackson. Like,
Yeah, that's Michael Jackson.
You said-
Yeah, Michael Jackson. I'm talking about when I was young, Michael Jackson. I ain't know him when he was Jackson 5. But and that's Nelson Mandela for me.
yeah.
Okay. You say
Yeah,
that.
Nelson Mandela is definitely somebody for this day. That's somebody I would love to meet. I would definitely be starstruck about seeing him. Most definitely.
But now you see how you see how we all had, you know, like famous people and people that everybody knows. None of us as the regular people is doing the big things in the community that we don't know about because we don't know about them. Right?
Newsletter.
There you go.
You know what I'm
We don't know
saying?
about them. There's some really amazing people doing little things that nobody know about. To find them. Put them out there, you know? If they
Yo,
want to be put out
for
there.
those listening, drop it in the comments. What are you doing on the regular
Word.
so that we can give shout outs to you in the future? You know, I mean, leave
Let
a
us
comment.
know.
What are you doing in your community? You know, how can we give praise? How can we raise awareness about what's going on with your community?
That's it. Because it's the little people that make the world go around. You know, the big people have big impacts, but the little people on a day-to-day basis, you know, they make the world go around. So we gotta like them.
Well, and the reality too is no person does this by themselves, right? They are lifted up. It took the workings of others to
Yeah.
put things in place so that they could be where they were. That, you know, Nelson Mandela was able to survive as long as he did because he had the support from outside.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And also within the prison, you know what I mean, to help him make it through. Michael had Joe, You know what I'm saying? So he had Tito.
And
So
Tito.
he didn't go for it.
And the other day,
No.
somebody came up to me and was like, "Yo, I'm drinking Michael Jackson's brother." I started dying laughing. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Tito.
Yeah,
I
never
was
heard
like,
that one.
And that's when I'm like, pause.
I'm drinking, I'm drinking
that's
Michael
too
Jackson's
much.
brother. I was,
That's too
and that's
much.
how we said it too. Yeah, yeah, we up here drinking Michael Jackson's brother. I was like, wow.
That's too much. Too much. You know he was drunk when he said he had too much Michael Jackson, brother. Yeah, too much.
Too much.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotta love it. So on that note,
Yeah.
yeah, on that note, thank y'all for checking out another episode of the Triple C Movement. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. And if you're doing something in this community, if you're doing something that deserves some praise, please let us know in the comment section so that we can, let everybody else know. All right? On that note, peace and love, fam.
Peace.
Love.
Peace.
Love. Peace.